Hello everyone, welcome to Singapore Marina Bay Street Circuit for round 14 of Season 2 in my 2012 career mode. I am Lovesbuds, and today my objective is to finish 7th in the race, and what you can see here is my Q1 lap. Why can you see my Q1 lap? Because the game tried to dick me over again in Q2 and Q3 by making it rain, which I thought, yeah, fair enough, it's raining, I can cope with this, but I couldn't. Dry tyres didn't work, they were slipping all over the place, but the AI were glued to the track, as ever, and setting dry times nearly, about 1 or 2 seconds off what they normally set. So that annoyed me, so I went on to the intermediates, same track conditions, intermediates, same result as the dries. You kept slipping all over the place, you couldn't drive anywhere. I even tried the wets. Wets didn't work. And even the pit crew recommended I would be on dry tyres. Now that irritated the hell out of me, basically, that I couldn't actually do anything, because I would have finished bottom of the order anyway, even if I tried to set a lap. So basically what I did was I gave up after Q1. It's not that I done a really crap lap in Q1 and got knocked out. It's the fact that I didn't bother competing in Q2 and Q3. I thought, stuff it, I'm just going to start from 17th. Because looking at it, this lap isn't actually that bad. This is the prime tyres as well. And it's okay, it would have been decent enough. I had some speed round here, but unfortunately it was kind of ruined. I didn't have the results screen for you there, I'm afraid, because it was irrelevant, unfortunately. So start the race in 17th behind Senna. I'm going to try and move up as many places as possible without hopefully too much crashing. Squeezed out Senna a bit much there, but went into the back of Kovalainen instead. Caterham's running near the top 10, as they are this season. I have to be really careful going around this corner, because they always slow down quite a lot, and you can get a good run out of here, which I am doing right now. Hopefully, Button's trying to squeeze me against the wall there a little bit. Never mind, going around the outside of Maldonado and up behind my teammate Schumacher, so I'm already up to 5th place and giving Schumacher a hard time as we have a little bit of a tussle. Luckily we're not putting each other out of the race just yet, and he's gone a bit wide and hit the barriers, unfortunately. I gave him enough room, granted, I gave him enough room. Unfortunately he didn't stay near me, so he ended up going wide. But at least he's still in 5th, which is the main thing. I haven't ruined his race completely. But now we got an unusual sight for the top 5. Vettel's here. Now for most of the season, Vettel has been down either out the points or at the back end of the top 10. Now suddenly he's up in 3rd. Maybe he loves this track, or the AI version of him does. Well, he certainly loves it in real life, because he does very well on it. Seeing as he won 4 races in a row in the 2012 season. But this is where I am for now. I'm meeting my objective comfortably at the moment, so it's all good. It's a shame that I'm not up front with the 1, 2 and 3. Because Alonso is actually leading the race and he happens to be my rival. This could go a bit wrong this season if I don't start beating him regularly. It would be just my luck that he ends up starting to win races and finish ahead of me, just when I select him as a rival. Wouldn't surprise me. Obviously this race hasn't got off to the best of starts because I started down in 17th. Which for once wasn't my fault, I have to say. If you saw what it was like in Q2, you could not do anything on any tyre. No tyre had any grip whatsoever in a straight line. yet alone round the corners. So there's no way I was going to set a dry time. That's for sure. Excuse me. Alright, so I've got a couple of minutes, I suppose, to talk about what's happened in the last couple of days in terms of news. If anyone was wondering about the whereabouts of Bruno Senna and whether he will fill the Force India seat, well, he definitely won't. He's actually signed up to do some World Endurance Championship events, as I do a bit of a spin. Of course, when I start talking, there's always something about to happen. Maybe I should get past Schumacher again soon. But yeah, he's been signed up by Aston Martin to drive one of their cars, and he's going to be in Le Mans 24-hour race as well, so he's definitely not in F1 this year. Adrian Sutil seems to be the most likely candidate for the second Force India seat, because he has had a seat fitting for the car recently, and he may be testing at Barcelona in a few days' time. So at the moment, my money now is on Sutil. I mean, you know, you don't do seat fittings on the whim, that's for sure. I haven't really heard much about Jaime Alguersuari, who said he was going to be back on the grid this year. That was probably a load of guff, but I was hoping he would be in that second seat, but it's looking a bit more unlikely. Bianchi, I'm assuming, will be in the seat by 2014 anyway, with that is replacing Di Resta or Sutil. Expect that's what they plan to do. So I'm assuming Adrian Sutil is going to be the one they go for this year. I would be surprised. And that would fill the last seat finally. It's kind of rare to see empty seats at this stage of the pre-season. And Williams launched their car on the 19th as well, the start of the Barcelona test. Blah 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 blah. Barcelona. Yeah, Maldonado will be the first one to drive that one. It's pretty cool, I'm sure. Well, he has good memories of that circuit anyway, considering he won last year. So, hopefully he should do well in the timesheets. Always like to see Williams do well. I don't think they deserve to be a midfield team. They should be up there with the other big name teams, considering they're one of the most successful constructors in the history of F1. It's a shame they're right down near the back, nearly. Getting a bit messy going into that corner, unfortunately. Slightly irritated that I haven't caught up Schumacher yet, but there's still time. I've got some pace. I just need to be a bit more consistent around some of these corners. Also, by the way, I've actually started on the prime tyre while everyone else is on the options. So that also explains why I'm lacking a bit of pace as well. Because I'm going for the long run basically, and then the short stint at the end, hoping it will pay off.
You've got a slight lead over Maldonado.
I'm looking for a podium, at least third place. Anything else would be a bonus. Because I want to keep this championship fight alive and kicking. Don't want to lose too much ground. I'm not quite sure where the McLarens are, but one of them's definitely not in the top 5. Because I know Alonso's leading, Vettel is in 3rd, and Schumacher is 4th. And obviously Maldonado in 6th there. So I kind of wonder if one of the McLarens has dropped out. I think Button was behind me somewhere. So Hamilton could be in 2nd. You never know. Sure we'll find out soon enough. Started to get a few contract offers through as well. The usual ones: HRT, Marussia, Caterham. Had one from Sauber, I think, as well, and Toro Rosso. For some reason, Toro Rosso want me as their number 2 driver. Yeah, I don't think so somehow. Not when I'm in a Mercedes. To be honest, I'd rather be a Mercedes as number 2 driver than in Toro Rosso as number 2 driver, obviously. Don't know why I thought they would offer me that. At least the teams at the back, the HRT, the Caterham and the Marussia, at least offered me the number 1 driver place. But obviously I'm going to decline them. I don't want to go backwards down the grid. Yeah, and if I beat Alonso in enough races this season, hopefully I'll get his seat. I assume that's how that works. If not, Massa will get the chop, but I assume you just take the seat of the person you challenge anyway. Just checking my fuel loads and tyres there. Come round to start lap 6. Let's see what else has been going on. I've been trying to get these. Well, my aim is to get these F1 videos out every other day. Like today, got this round, and hopefully Monday will be round 15 Japan. Just so I can hopefully get enough videos done by the end of the month, which is my target to finish season 2. Because, as I might have mentioned before in other videos, I've worked out that I need to do a season every 2 months by the time September comes around. So hopefully that should give me enough time to do things. If I can like speed it up, that would be amazing. But if I do at least 1 season every 2 months, then I should be okay to complete the game by the time the next one comes out. Providing real life doesn't get in the way, of course. What else? And Assassin's Creed will be like in between the uploads, of course. As soon as I've started doing that again. And I want to finish that off, because once I've finished Assassin's Creed, I've got another game in mind that I want to do, which is Race 07. I want to do like 1 season of that to just have something else on the channel. And and that is actually racing as well, because I do like racing games, of course. That's why I play so much F1. I'm surprised actually Petrov is up in 3rd. I should be able to keep going for a little bit longer. Trouble is, once it gets to this stage and I stay out for a while, the tyres end up disappearing underneath me for some reason. But I'm hoping, because I'm on the prime tyre, that won't happen too early. My target was to get to around lap 10, but if the tyres get any worse, I'm going to have to come in a bit earlier. But at least I won't have the engineer bugging me every 5 seconds to come into the pits. See, Webber has overtaken Petrov somewhere along the line. They're having a little fight behind, which is fine by me. Hamilton's out in front, out 8 seconds up the road. Which is interesting, because it seems to be that he's going to be my main rival in the championship this season. I think he won the championship last season as well. So he's looking for the double, and I'm just looking for my first. Should be interesting to see who comes out on top. you should see the standings in a couple of races time,
Our data's
or in the
showing
next
the car
race.
ahead's likely to be running in fuel
They are
conservation
mind-boggling.
mode. His times will be slightly slower than normal.
But to be honest, I'm glad to get this race out of the way. I can't stand racing around here. To be honest, I can't stand racing around tracks that have walls next to the circuit anyway. I'm just not that sort of racer. I feel more comfortable with some like runoff areas, even if I don't intend to use them. Although on this track I'm not actually that bad as I am in Monaco. So that's something, I suppose. So I've managed to go out in the lead for now because of my stint on the prime tyres. I don't know if I'll be able to hold on to the lead, because I think Hamilton is probably within 20 seconds behind me. I have to find out once he gets across the line here, because I'm going to need at least 25 to 30 seconds to be a comfortable, come out comfortably in front. And I don't really think that's going to happen, considering he was about 8 seconds in front of me last time I saw it. Yeah, and he's 18 seconds behind, so that's not really going to be enough of a gap, unless I miraculously go faster, which I don't think is going to happen, because they're all obviously on fresh primes and I'm on worn primes. It might be an idea to come into the pits on this lap, which I think I do. 1 lap short of my target, because the tyres are actually falling away from me. Because, well, I don't want to lose too much time to the people behind me. Just making sure they're going to give me option tyres as well.
Options confirmed for your next box.
Because if I'm going to lose a couple of positions, I don't want to be like too far behind, so maybe I'll have a chance of catching up. Oh, and that's not good. See, just lacking grip. Now it's starting to lose the back end slightly as well. Not to mention the lack of steering. Just found another interesting news article on the BBC. There was a Martin Whitmarsh, the McLaren team boss, was saying recently that 7 of the 11 Formula 1 teams are struggling financially, to the extent that they are in survival mode. Now what that means is there's just so much pressure, financial pressure on all these teams, that 7 out of 11 of them are really struggling, and they really need points and the championship positions and the reward of money that brings. Even though F1 as a whole, the income is about $1.5 billion. Go. It's quite sad to see, really, to be honest.
There's some traffic at the pit exit. Watch out as you rejoin the
I think
track.
obviously they're going to have to do something about it, because it's getting a bit ridiculous that they have to rely on some paid drivers, as I nearly take out Vettel there.
Okay, it looks like the car
I mean,
ahead is trying to create a gap.
there may be
Running full revs, maximum power.
there may be a bit of a stigma attached to being a paid driver, but you can't always blame the teams, because if they're struggling financially, they're going to need all the money they can get. And if that means taking a paid driver on over someone that could just have natural talent,
Line them up for a pass.
which I believe is kind of what's happened to Kobayashi. So Just got no grip because of the cold tyres. Just checking my temperatures there. The front tyres have got no warmth in them whatsoever, which definitely doesn't help. Got to warm them up a little bit. So it's a shame the way the Formula 1's going in terms of finances and that. Because there's so much talent out there that they're being overlooked by someone with a bigger pay packet and bigger backing. Yeah, which is a real shame. Vettel is not running away from me. He shouldn't be anyway, because I'm on the new options. His prime should be a few laps old now. But at least I'm ahead of Schumacher. That worked out well in terms of strategy. I've just got to be remain consistent as I set a one. Oh no, my best lap's a 1:48.8. So hopefully this lap should be a bit faster. Might even challenge for the fastest lap if I don't mess it up. Ideally I want to get up to second, obviously, because Alonso's there. But I think I'm a bit far down the road for that, considering I have only got about 5 laps to go. But at least I should at least meet my objective, which is 7th. So that'd be something. I would just ideally love to take down Vettel. Don't want Finger Boy on the podium whatsoever. And I want to add to my collection of podiums as I ride the curbs and lose the grip. Slide out a little bit. But at least I'm maintaining control, which is the main thing, and not spinning. Even if it is a bit messy. So 1.6 seconds to Vettel. Hopefully I'll be able to maybe get in the zone for the DRS on the next lap. Possibly, if it depends how much time I make up on this last section. Seems to be quite close, but this last corner, well, that corner there we just gone through, I tend to lose a little bit of time on there. And I didn't really have the confidence to take that at full whack anyway. So it's probably gone back down to it's actually 1 second, so close enough. There may still be a chance that I'll get DRS, but I messed that corner up a little bit, so I've lost a bit of ground. He's probably just outside the second needed. Depends where the detection line is, because I don't know where it is. It's one of those many lines that we've gone across. But we definitely didn't get DRS, obviously, because that was the little section, the straight with the kink in it. That was the DRS bit. Let's see, 1.3 seconds. And now, as the AI do, they set their fuel mixture up to rich, and they try and create the gap at the end of the race, which sometimes I can't keep up with. Well, I should be fine to keep up because of my option tyres. Their prime should be wearing away a little bit, and hopefully a bit faster now that they've gone up to the rich fuel mixture, because that's how the game works. But it looks like I'm going to try and make a move with my Kers. Oh, that was close. I wasn't quite expecting that to happen, but I did avoid him at least.
You're doing well. It's coming together for us. We're 4 places up on our predictions.
4 places up on the predictions, which was 7th. Let's just see if I can try and catch Alonso here, because he's not actually that far away, but I think the tyres are wearing away faster than I would like. Maybe by the time I actually catch up to Alonso, maybe the back tyres especially will be a bit worn. The back tyres mainly wear away faster because of the wheel spin coming out the corners. Also because of the setup as well. I mean, obviously because these cars are rear wheel drive, fact that you're spinning your wheels in some of these corners doesn't always help. Actually, to be honest, I don't know how much wheel spin I've been doing. I haven't really been paying attention to that too much. But because there's a lot of corners, that obviously creates a lot of heat and energy in the back tyres. The constant acceleration and deceleration. So I skimmed the wall there. And we've got a couple of laps left. I hate this section of corners. I don't really consider that a corner, to be honest. It's just it's almost as if they couldn't be bothered. Well, actually, I suppose it takes more effort to create that than it would do with one single corner. But I'd rather wish they had just done a proper corner rather than those silly little curbs they put there, which quite frankly can be dangerous at times. Well, not dangerous in terms of today's F1, but maybe a couple of years ago, if people have gone in there too quick and ridden the curbs too high, which I think someone did a couple of years ago, that'll send them straight into the wall. And that wouldn't. It's not exactly pretty when that happens, and it's always in the way of other cars as well, being a street circuit. I just think that's an absolutely stupid corner. They really should change up, do something else with it.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
Nevertheless, I have set the fastest lap. I'm sort of gaining on Alonso a little bit, but I think it's a little bit of a case of too little too late. Plus, I need to move my mixture down to 2 because my fuel is now showing as optimal. I don't have any surplus left, unfortunately. But I did what I wanted to do, and that's finish on the podium. Well, I say finish on the podium, it still could go wrong, of course. It's always time to mess it up. You can always mess it up on any part of this. You could mess it up on the last corner and go flying off into the barriers. I mean, even if I went off the circuit now or spun around, I could end up losing 1 or even 2 positions. Not that it would affect my objective too much, but I want those points and I want that podium because it looks like Hamilton is going to win the race. And that means he's going to get 25 points and I'm going to get 15. Which means whatever state the championship is in, he's going to get 10 points more than me and could close the gap or overtake me. I can't remember what state the championship is in, but I think I've got a little bit of a lead as far as I know. Got to be careful about riding that curb as I go around those final corners because that can be a bit dodgy. That can really send you out of control.
The car behind is dropping back. That should give you a little more breathing space.
Vettel, for once, is not catching up. Which is fine. He's backed off. I think he's more concerned about keeping that 4th place away from Schumacher. Which is something he would never be concerned about in real life. He'd be pushing all the way to the end, pretty much. But yeah, Alonso's 5.8 seconds up the road. At this point, I'm hoping that he'll crash out the race or retire somehow. Because he looks like he's going to draw level in the driver rivalry at 1-1 basically. I can't honestly remember if it's best of 5 in the driver rivalry or if it's just till the end of the season. I mean, I assume it's till the end of the season. I won against Rosberg last year to get his seat, about 3-1, and that was after India. And I suppose even if you draw, you might actually win the rivalry. I suppose if you draw, it depends on championship position. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, Lewis Hamilton has won the race. Fernando Alonso has come in second, and I'm going to come through and take the final podium position, third, in front of Vettel and Schumacher. Wonder who finished sixth. I wonder if Maldonado managed to keep it, or if Buttons come through somewhere. You never know. Let's have a look at these results. Jensen actually did manage to come through for sixth, ahead of Maldonado. We got Kimi Räikkönen, Webber, Petrov, and I have actually got a trophy, 0 to hero, which I believe is starting outside the top 10 or something, or somewhere near the back, and then coming through to take a podium position. Yeah, I've never done that before, basically. So, started 17th on the grid and ended up 3rd. It's a good day, I have to say. If there ever was damage limitation, that was it. Considering what the game did to me in the qualifying session. So, Perez, Grosjean and Kobayashi didn't finish the race. I expect Grosjean crashed into Perez, which ended up getting in the way of Kobayashi or something. Stupid. Always blame Grosjean, always, especially in 2012. But I'm still first in the Drivers' Championship. That win meant Lewis Hamilton has closed in to 3 points behind. Jenson Button's 33 points behind, and Alonso 65 behind. So it's looking good so far. The championship is going to be a tough one this year. It will probably come down to the last race if it carries on like this. Especially with Lewis Hamilton breathing down my neck. But it's nice to still be in the lead of the championship. 3 Brits on top as well, top 3 positions. And nothing too amazing down there. Carter Kane up in 20th. HRT is actually making some progress in the virtual world rather than the real one, where they will no longer exist. Yeah, that's how things look on that one. The constructors, McLaren obviously still at top, followed by Mercedes, Ferrari, Lotus, Red Bull, Williams, Sauber, Toro Rosso, Caterham, Force India, HRT and Marussia, who seem to be languishing at the back there. Caterham got that 1 single point last race or the race before, so they've cemented their place for now. Looks like they're going to become more of a midfield team next season than they are this season. They could be a threat to the middle of the table. Never know. So let's celebrate our 3rd position. Alonso in the background there, our rival, and Hamilton the winner. 2 rivals for the championship and the race seat next season. Very interesting. Although I look disappointed, I'm quite pleased with how I performed today. So join me next time for round 15 in Japan. I'll see you there.